Everyone, welcome back to the Paper Trail. I'm back again, recording like 3 in a row. I'm sick of my voice. Thought I would just make the most of some time to record. But anyway, we are talking about the Great War, the very, I don't know what you want to call it, the event that starts it all with Fallout. In the Fallout universe, the Great War is the terrible event that destroyed modern society and created the wasteland that players explore. It is heavily inspired by the real-life Cold War fears from the 1950s. Back then, people were terrified of nuclear weapons and the idea of mutual destruction. This was the belief that if one country fired a nuke, the other would fire back and everyone would lose. Fallout took that real-life nightmare and made it reality. The Great War did not happen out of nowhere. Long before the bombs fell, the world was bleeding dry. This era was known as the Resource Wars. By the mid-21st century, the planet had almost completely run out of oil and uranium. Just like in the real world, where countries sometimes fight... Yep, you could say that. I wonder what country I could be talking about. Anyway, the nations of Fallout went to extreme lengths to secure what little was left. According to the history found in the original Fallout games, Europe and the Middle East destroyed each other in a smaller conflict over fuel. Meanwhile, the United States and China locked horns in a massive fight called the Sino-American War. The US even invaded and took over Canada just so they could easily move their troops and supplies to the front lines in Alaska. That's a whole other thing. There are so many little sub cover at some point, but I'd like to cover the big bits first so we can get to the little quotation marks parts. To understand the Great War, you have to look at the unique design of the Fallout universe. The creators designed a world stuck in a retro-futuristic style. This means it looks exactly like what people in the 1950s thought the future would be. Cars are powered by nuclear energy, robots walk the streets, and laser weapons are common. Yet society is still stuck in the culture and fear of the 50s. People are terrified of communism, and the government constantly pushes patriotic messaging. This design choice is brilliant because it highlights a tragic irony. Humanity had the technology to fix the energy problems and save the world, but their greed and fear led them to build bigger weapons instead. Everything came to a violent end on October 23rd, 2077. The exact details of who fired the first missile remain a closely guarded secret, but once the first launch was detected, the response was automatic. According to the lore found in games like Fallout 3 and 4, the entire exchange of nuclear weapons lasted only 2 hours. In the short time, the world as they knew it was wiped away. The TV show brings this horror to life in its very first episode, where we see the bombs dropping on LA for an viewing man's birthday party. He could have a video of himself, but the TV series is still ongoing, so I can't exactly just be like, yes, we are going to do a video on Cooper Howard when his story's still ongoing and backstory stuff is just going to be a nightmare to try and cover. The bright flash, the massive mushroom clouds, and the blind panic perfectly capture the sudden chaotic nature of the event. Similarly, in the opening moments of Fallout 4, the player barely makes it into an underground bunker just as a nuclear blast wave sweeps over their neighborhood. For decades, fans of the games debated who actually started the Great War. Was it China? Was it the United States? The Fallout TV show recently added a massive twist to this history. However, again, it's constantly changing and they still refuse to actually answer who shot first. It's the old Star Wars debate all over again. In the Season 1 finale of the show, it is revealed that the leaders of Vault-Tec, the company that built the underground survival bunkers, were actively discussing dropping the bombs themselves. The company needed the world to end so they could guarantee their bunkers would be used. They were willing to spark the apocalypse to wipe out their business rivals and build a new world in their own image. And this perfectly fits the darkly funny tone of the games, where giant companies are often the true villains. Vault-Tec itself is just a whole story of its own, that we'll probably get a video, don't worry. That's again, it's another thing where it's like, we could get new games. Probably not in my fucking lifetime by the feel of it. But, you know what I'm saying. The Great War in Fallout is a haunting reflection of our own history. It takes our real-world anxieties about war, corporate greed, and the loss of natural resources, and stretches them to their worst possible outcome. Though its brilliant 50s design and deeply written story, minus Fallout 4 because it's a role-playing game with a set story. I still love Fallout 4. Please ignore the hundreds of days I've put into that. Mods keep that game alive, I'm sorry. But the story is... God, the story. Who makes a role-playing game and gives you a voice protagonist? What? This has been discussed already. Anyway. The series warns us about the dangers of losing our humanity in the pursuit of power. The world burned in just 2 hours, providing that no matter how advanced how advanced technology gets, the destructive nature of war remains exactly the same. Hence the obvious and overused quote, war never changes.